We are recording. Hang on. That's to sync the audio up.
Oh.
Because this records audio and this records audio.
Oh, right. All these bloody gadgets, I can't keep up with them.
You're allowed to say what you want. It's fine.
We're playing...
Spite and Malice.
Yeah. Right.
I guess before we start the game, I'll introduce what the video is.
Oh, right.
For the camera.
Okay.
Say hi to the camera.
Hi to the camera.
This is my gran.
How? Hello.
Yes.
This is my grandson.
We're here today because we're playing a game of cards.
Certainly.
Yes, it's a game called Spite and Malice. Is it an actual game or does someone make it up?
No, it's called that.
It's a real game.
I've got the leaflet upstairs with the rules on. If you don't believe me.
I trust you.
Okay.
Yeah, and while we play the game, we're gonna chat.
Okay, do.
It's like a faux interview. I don't know, I'm just doing things.
You're first because I don't.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember how to play the game now. We're also drinking. Was it Advocat?
Cheers, right. Well, we're just testing it to make sure it hasn't gone off, haven't we?
Yes, like the Baileys from 2018.
Well, you know I like to keep things, look after them.
So I guess we'll start with, where were you born?
I was born in Blackwood's Lane
Do I draw first?
on Walney. You make sure you've always got 5. And I was born a month after the war started.
Oh, 39.
But I don't remember much of it because I don't remember going down the air raid shelter. I remember the air raid shelter being in the garden.
You actually had a garden one?
Yeah, I had an Anderson shelter.
I didn't know whether it would have been like communal ones where everyone was.
Well, there were communal ones, but we had our own because we had a garden. I don't remember going down the shelter because I was too young, but my brother did. He remembered being in it, but I didn't.
Have you always lived around here then?
Yes, I'm a true Walneyite.
Walneyite.
True Walneyite. Right. Have you remembered the object of the game then?
Yes.
To stop you using yours.
It comes back to you after a short time.
Thanks, Bradley.
Oh, no. I wasn't paying attention.
No. Jack. Queen.
Disgraceful. So you had 4 brothers, right?
I did. 4 brothers, but one died as a baby, so
Right.
I never knew that one. They were twins.
Ah.
My eldest brother was a twin.
Identical to it.
Well, I don't know. I wasn't there to see. But he only lived a few days. Then I had John, and then Peter, and then me.
Have I ever met any of them?
Doubt it. Because Vincent lived away. He lived in Spain for donkey's years.
I need to put one down.
So you wouldn't get to see him. Did you ever meet Peter, I wonder? No, I don't think you did.
I don't have a recollection of meeting.
Peter?
No.
He had his leg off. He had to have his leg off when he was about...
Amputated.
Yes, that would be the general idea.
Just his leg off is just a bit of a... Was that a bike accident?
No, you're thinking about my middle brother.
Right.
That had died because he swerved to avoid a dog and there was something coming the other way, ran into him. And in those days, he was bleeding internally. They couldn't detect it, whereas now they can. They didn't know, you see, and he just slowly bled to death. Peter had his leg off because he had bad circulation, but he smoked and he worked in the yard where they had asbestos before they knew it was bad for you. Is it me now?
Yes.
So I don't think you would have met him, but most of my relations lived in Burnley because that's where my mum and dad came from.
Why did they come here?
Because when in the 30s there was a lot of out of work and my dad went working in Oxford and all. That was strange, wasn't it? Oxford and all over, and then he had an uncle that came to Barrow, to Vickers, as it was then. BAE Systems was Vickers Armstrongs. And he told me, Mum, tell Albert to come to Barrow, there's loads of work in the yard. So that's how they came to Barrow. But then not long after that, a couple of years after that was when the war started, so of course he was back to sea then, wasn't he? Right.
This place was never attacked in the war, was it?
It was.
It was?
Yes,
Yeah.
but that was 1940, 1941, because they were after the yard. And that's why they bombed Hindpool a lot, because Abbey Road, that used to go all the way down there, they mistook that for the channel, because it was wet.
Yeah.
They didn't have all this high...
Yeah, you just do what you can see.
It was hard navigating stuff in those days, and they mistook that for the channel. So they dropped the bombs there, thinking they were bombing the docks.
Yeah.
But it was, I think there was a hotel, wasn't there, and a church that were a direct hit.
Yeah, so there's a shipbuilding yard near where we are now.
Yes.
There was like an active one during the war.
Yes. It was
So
very,
obviously
very
it was a prime target to bomb.
Well, it was. It's always been a very famous yard. That even sailing ships, donkeys years ago.
I remember I watched the launch of some battleships when I was a kid.
Yes. Wherever you went, there was hordes of soldiers and sailors and airmen, and if you went on a train anywhere, they were cramp-packed with.
Surprised you remember any of it. If you were.
I remember that.
Yeah.
And I remember my mother telling me, because we used to go to see my grandma in Burnley for Christmas, and there was this guy on there, with pig cap and gold braid up his arms, and I went running up to him shouting, "Daddy, Daddy, Daddy." And he said, "I'm sorry, well, I'm not your daddy," because I'd only ever seen my dad like that, because he was away a lot. I only thought that was my dad.
Did your dad fight then?
He was in the Merchant Navy. He got torpedoed, my dad. Broke his front teeth, bless him.
I probably should have double checked that wasn't how he died first.
No,
and I laughed at the torpedoed part.
He was fortunate enough he came through, but he was in the Battle of the Atlantic, which was awful, and the Russian convoys, he was on those.
Isn't it?
It's you.
All right. We're going to get this all the way
This
through.
must be the longest game that's never been played.
We'll get there eventually. I'm not getting anything I need, so... Who do you think out of the two of us is better at this game?
Just depends, doesn't it, on the look of the cards, really.
See, being balanced.
No, but it is, and then also remembering what to watch your opponent to stop them giving them an opening.
A loose explanation of this, it's basically two-player solitaire. So you have a separate deck here, and you have to get rid of this deck before your opponent can.
Yes.
And the way you do it is by building up ace through kings in these stacks in front. So there can be 4 of these, but we've only had enough cards to make 3. And then you've got like storage piles here, which you can have 4 of.
Yeah.
What do your mum do for a living?
My mother, she was a weaver. Burnley was full of mills, and in those days when she was growing up,
So was it during World War II? All the women were put into like industrial jobs, weren't they?
They were in that job first. She was in that job first, but a lot of them went into like munitions and things like that once the war started. Any more? No.
I've just got a fistful of 4s. I can't do anything with
My
it.
father was in the Merchant Navy. He was a chief refrigeration engineer.
Ooh.
Looked after all the cargo when they came from land from New Zealand and fruit from Australia.
Oh, so it was like produce. He was just made sure it all kept.
Yes.
It's a really interesting job. I didn't really think about existing.
Well, you don't, do you, really? You just think it arrives. You don't realise it's got to be kept.
Yeah, someone's got to watch it, make sure, and keep all of the equipment.
Yeah, because that's how he came to get injured, because he'd gone down the engine room for something for the fridges when they got hit, and he got flung against those handle things. I don't know what you call them. The wheel things.
Oh,
the
yeah.
pressure and all that. There'll be a name for them, but you know what I mean, don't you?
Yeah, like a cog.
But that's what he hit his face on. So when he came home, he had to go and have his teeth out because they were all broken.
That's horrible. I can't imagine hitting yourself in the face like that.
I think he got his ribs broke or something. But he escaped with his life, so that was good.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bradley.
Why?
Because I've got a 5.
Oh, damn it.
You've got a 6.
This is why you're meant to watch what your opponent
Yeah.
has.
We're too busy talking, you see. We're not concentrating.
Yeah,
are we?
yeah. If I lose this game, it's because I'm too busy talking.
That's right.
It's not like you're doing more talking than I am.
No, I never talk a lot.
No.
You know me.
How much older than
risk
you was your eldest then? Was it Vincent the eldest?
He would be 13 years older than me.
Oh, so he also wasn't active. He didn't fight in the war. Then?
No. He wasn't young. He wasn't old enough.
What did he do for a living?
Well, he was something to do with mechanical engineering. Peter was an electrician. John was an electrician.
Very mechanically oriented family, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Refrigeration engineer,
Yes.
mechanical engineer,
Electrical engineer.
You can have a full set. You need a biological
I'm
engineer.
just a domestic engineer.
You worked as a hairdresser for a while, didn't you?
Yes.
You used to do our hair.
I served my time as a hairdresser.
Was that your main job?
That was my main.
Your
When I first
occupation?
left school, I went to work in a dry cleaning business in Duke Street. And I can't remember the name of it. That's how good
Duke
my
Street
memory is.
Dry Cleaners.
No, it wasn't called that. But they were very nice to work for. But then I got an apprenticeship in hairdressing. Then I got my own shop and had that for a while. Then had your mum. So I gave up on that so as I could be a full-time mother. But when I had the shop, Grandad used to work shifts because he worked for Ready Fusion then, because he'd come out the Navy then.
He was, the thing I remember about him was he used to fix TVs, right? CRT
yes,
TVs.
Ready Fusion TVs.
Ready Fusion?
It was a big firm in the town.
Oh, that's the company
Ready
name.
Fusion, and they had radio. First of all, did I say I'd finished? You distracted me on purpose. Yes, so he came out, worked his way up in Ready Fusion, because he was radar on the subs. You know, beep, 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 beep. When he first came out of the Navy, he worked down on the dredges for a while, down the channel.
Dredgers?
Dredges. They dredge all the muck out the channel to keep so they can launch the ships. And
like
the ships.
what's like keep,
silt,
yeah,
isn't it? Silt.
So they keep it deep enough.
Yes.
What a weird job.
Well, they didn't dig it out, love. They didn't dig it out. They had a big machine.
Even they waded in with a shovel on. Let's clear some space for this
and
ship.
it used to make a horrible noise. You'd go, when this thing. You got used to, never heard it. After a while, you know, when it first came, you think, oh God, they're dredging again. But after a couple of nights, it never bothered you. You went to sleep. And then he got in with Ready Fusion. So he worked his way up there to top and took thingy bobby.
Took thingy bobby.
Yeah, engineer or technician, what the hell you fancy you call them.
We never established where you met Gran.
I met him because he came to Barrow on a submarine, and when they got here, they'd nowhere to put them, which was good arrangements from the Navy.
What year was this?
I think that would be 1949 or something like that.
Oh, so this was after the war.
February, March 1949. Yes, that finished in 45, 46, didn't it?
45. So why were the soldiers still being stationed then?
They
So
were.
he was in the Navy, wasn't he?
Yes, but when they used to come up here to join a sub, they'd have a sub here and they'd fit it out, and they came.
So the sub came for repairs or for the
being
new,
built, yeah, and then the crew would come
and they needed
to
somewhere to
take
stay.
charge of the ship. And because my mother had sailors staying in the wartime when they were billeted on you to take them in, the guy still had my mother's address. So he came knocking on the door one February night when it was blowing a gale and raining quite hard, and asked would she take them in, and she said, well, I don't do that, you know.
Yeah,
And he said, well,
it was during a time of crisis.
They'd been on the road from Portsmouth in this wagon with a canvas back flapping in the wind, you can imagine. They were all freezing cold and wet, horrible. So my mother brought them all in, these 14 sailors. Oh, somebody sent me a message. She'd been baking that day, this maid parking. That I was looking forward to.
Seems like you have a very strong memory of this very particular day.
Well, you would have got up in the morning and found bodies all over the floor and sweaty feet. You'd have remembered it, wouldn't you? So she brought them all in, and John went round to these various people to see could they put anybody up.
So you were 10 at this point.
I was 9. So all this parking that I was looking forward to.
You're allowed to say bloody. Bloody's not even a bad word. I'm surprised you haven't dropped like an F-bomb yet.
I don't like that. No need for that.
I've heard you utter your occasional swear word in anger.
By accident, I had an accident with the F word. Do you remember?
Which
the Bucks
one?
Fizz. The Bucks Fizz.
Yeah.
They got mixed up after drinking it.
She messed up the first 2 letters of Bucks Fizz.
And everybody went, oh, did you hear, Gran? So that's how I first met him, lying on the dining room floor.
He was 11 years older than you, right?
He was, yeah.
So he would have been
19.
19,
he was 19.
And you were 9, and you just came downstairs and there was a random bunch of people in the house.
She took 4 of them.
Right.
Because they couldn't get accommodation for them. I think 2 of them slept in a church on the benches. It was that bad. That's how good the organisation
I was going to say, you'd think they'd have organised that.
No, well, they didn't, did they?
You finished, by the way.
I don't know. I'm still busy talking, aren't I?
Well,
it just took a shine to my mum, really, and she looked after them. And
So they came back whenever
whenever they were in Barrow for another sub or anything. And coming back, and then I grew up, and that's how it was. And little did I know that when he was 16 as a boy sailor, he was across the way just in the Isle of Man.
Oh.
And I said, just think, I could have waved to you off the beach. Oh, I didn't want one of them. Now, let me concentrate.
Okay.
3.
So this is my strategy. So she always wins.
Oh, I
so
don't.
My strategy
5,
is confusion
6,
through storytelling.
7, 8, 9.
Oh, where's the 10?
I haven't got one
Oh,
now.
that's a shame,
I
isn't
had
it?
loads before.
Oh, if only I fucking had one that was available.
Right.
You hear anything?
No, I didn't.
I said books.
I know, I heard you.
I said
Fizz.
books fizz, yeah.
Yeah, you did say Bucks Fizz.
Not sure what this video is going to look like because we're being lit by a light directly above us. I think we're both a bit shadowed.
Well, you should have spoken. I would have moved it further into the middle of the room.
No, it's fine. Yeah, I think I can push the settings up to make the shadows a bit brighter. Actually, you know what I want to record of?
What?
The chocolate story that Grandad always told from the submarine, from the ships.
What about the guy that always pinched everybody's
Yes.
sweets and never bought any of his own?
Yeah, I want a version of that story. So I like that story.
The whole crew would put out what they had, and they all shared everything.
You put one down.
Yes.
And the whole crew.
And this guy never bought any sweets, but he used to eat everybody else's and the chocolates and what have you. So they thought they'd teach him a lesson. So they bought a bar of laxative chocolate, and they broke it up into pieces and looked like somebody had been eating it. And he ate a big lump of it. He didn't just have a bit.
Yeah.
His fill.
So cheeky guy always steal other people's chocolate.
Yeah. So,
And they were like, we've had enough.
So that's what they did. And he had a busy night.
If I remember, he never stole any chocolate
No, he didn't.
again.
Never. No, he never. He learned his lesson.
Grandad was Royal Navy, right?
Yeah. It was Royal Navy and Merch.
Ah.
He went in the Merch. When he came out of the Royal Navy, he went in the Merchant Navy because we were saving up to get married. And he got more money
Transferable skills.
if he went on shell tankers because he got danger money in case they blew up.
Oh, God, really?
Yes, they used to get...
I can't imagine a job like that where they're like, oh, we'll pay you a bit more because you might die.
I would have liked him to come out the Navy, but I would never said to him, come out, because I knew that's what he was and what he liked and what he was good at. But he wanted to come out the Navy, and he came out the Navy. It was a bit hard for him to adjust to civilian life, really. When you said about the chocolate, I thought you were meaning about when he sat on it.
No.
Did I never tell you that, Tate?
I mean, I may have just forgotten.
We had a Hillman Minx car. I loved it. And it had big, long bench seats. So you'd have the arm in the middle.
Right.
And we'd gone, he came home on leave and it was, I don't know, it was warmish weather anyway. And we went out, took a picnic. And in those days, because there wasn't as much traffic, you could just sort of draw in little lay-bys and have a picnic and what have you. And we used to share the driving. I'd drive, he'd drive, whatever. And then he loved Aero milk chocolate. So I got this Aero milk chocolate and I could put it on the seat, or he put it on the seat. But because it was a bench seat...
Did it slide?
When we were driving and that, it and it went under his bottom. And so we pulled into this lay-by to go for a little stroll. And when he went like that to get out the car, I just burst out laughing.
Was it not wrapped up?
Yes, but it was undone because we'd been eating it. And it was stuck on his bottom, all melted and all stuck to it. And he was, just had this suit cleaned as well. So he got out and I was laughing and he was saying, it's not funny, that's the usual. And so he was bent over the part of the car and I was wiping this chocolate off with these tissues. And this car went past with these 3 ladies in and they went...
That sounds like a scene out of a comedy film.
Can you imagine when they got where they were going and they said, you'll never guess what we saw at the side of the road. What else funny things happened? Yes, when he came home on leave once. So I'd got a mouse. There was a mouse. It was a little house mouse, and I didn't want it in my house. And so he decided, he thought it was coming, there was a hole where the sink unit was. There was a hole where the pipe was, and he thought that's where they're getting in. So he uncoupled it all and pulled this sink unit away from the wall, and what did I say? Oh, God, let me wash that. It's all, Got the water, washed it all, and there he was at the back, and I tipped the water down the sink, forgetting it wasn't stuck to the wall. He was behind it mending, and it all ran out all over him. I said, well, it's just by habit. He said, not when it's in the middle of the bloody floor, it isn't. He wasn't amused. Really.
A lot of your stories seem to be him getting covered in stuff.
Yes, he was a bit accident prone.
Oh, what good luck. It's almost like I was cheating. King.
You could have been, when I was busy talking, you could have been siphoning them off.
Video footage shows I have not cheated. So yeah, I'm down to my last card now, which is a king. And I only need access to a queen. Oh, I could have played the 3 and then played the queen. Oh.
That's what you get through not concentrating. 3.
Ah,
Oh.
Damn you.
5. You see, that's what it's all about. 10.
Damn you, Gran.
10. That's
So if I get a 9 or a queen, I can win. My luck has been good today. Oh. No. No. Aha! Jack. Queen.
well done.
The victory is mine. Victory.
Right.
Immense joy.
Sort these beggars out now.
Yeah, so obviously this game requires 3 decks. Some of them have blue backs, some have red backs, so we have to sort through now. It feels like there's too many stories for one mini interview, doesn't it? It's like there's lots of.
Well, you can edit it. Thought you were good at that.
No, I can.
Chop it out. What bits you don't want, chop out.
We can always do a follow up as well.
Well,
another-
see if I remembered anything else.
No, I meant a follow up like another video.
Well, whatever.
Talk about more, like my childhood. But you got some fun
Yes,
stories
you were
about
funny.
me.
Oh, yes, you were definitely funny, Bradley. Would you like to hear some?
What's the funniest one?
I think one of the funniest ones was when you used to take it in turns to come and sleep.
Right.
Scott would come and sleep, and then you would come and sleep. And this particular night, it was Scott was coming to sleep, and you didn't want him to come to sleep because that meant you were going to be on your own in your bedroom.
Poor
I said, well, yes,
lonely
but
brat.
when you come down to Grandma's, you're on your own in that bedroom. But it wasn't the same, that somehow or other. And I'll have nobody to talk to. I said, well, maybe you'll have to talk to yourself. So the next day, when I spoke to you and you'd said about it, you hadn't been to sleep all night, according to you.
Right.
I said, well, did you talk to yourself then? He said, I don't know, I wasn't even listening.
Oh, nothing's changed. I still don't listen to myself.
And then when you climbed over the fence and you got in by accident, did you remember
Oh
that
yeah,
one?
that one.
Yeah.
That was there's a field at the end of the street
Yeah,
which used to have horses in it,
yeah.
and I wasn't allowed in the field. So when I came back to the house, covered in mud, yeah,
Yeah.
and I was scolded. You weren't supposed to be in that field. I wasn't in the field. I see the mud all over your legs. I fell in by
shoes.
accident.
I got in by
accident.
I just got in by accident, yeah. It's a shame you can't remember the funny things that children say, because there are some good, really funny things that children say.
Well, yeah, I mean it's a bit different nowadays because people are recording all the time.
It's great, isn't it? But when mine was small, you didn't have that luxury. And snaps, photos aren't the same. It's just a picture of somebody. It's not the same. Like picture of my mother and my grandmother don't mean anything to anybody. But if you're watching a video and you can see them as a person,
Yeah, you can hear them.
It's
See the way
better.
they.
Yeah.
I think that's obviously it's good nowadays that people can do that.
Yeah,
But it's a shame
yeah.
that you don't have like the
No,
video footage of them.
No, but then when I was a child, The only time you probably got a photograph was if it was somebody's wedding.
Or if you paid, I guess, for
Well, how many people
like a
could
family
afford
shot.
that? Couldn't afford that then in those days.
So do you have photos of your
luxuries.
parents?
Yes. Have you never seen them?
Maybe. We'll have a look afterwards. What happened to your parents?
They died.
Of old age? I mean, did they get to a ripe old age? I mean, that's...
Yes. Well, my dad didn't.
I wasn't like, it's still over there.
My dad, he died at 63 and he never ailed, apart from he had a bad chest. He had a bit of eczema, but he was always, the life and soul, and I never, he had a bad cough.
That's where I get it. That's where I get it from, the life and soul.
But my mother was at death's door ever since I was old enough to remember.
Oh.
She had pneumonia, God knows how many times. So if anybody had said to me, your father will die before your mother, I'd have said, oh, this is silly. But, my dad he wasn't well. And he came home, the ship was gone in for refit, so he was home for 3 weeks or something, I don't know what it was, took ill and died, just like that. Which I suppose in a way was good, because he wouldn't have liked not to be able to go to sea, I don't think. It was too much in his...
I always think the sudden deaths are the worst, though, because...
They are for the family, but they're kind of for the person, aren't they? They're kind of for the person.
Yeah, I don't think I'd like to know when. I think I'd rather just...
Go.
It just happen, yeah. Because imagine having, knowing you have a deadline. That
must be an awful thing to come to terms with, but...
Especially if you know you're going to get, worse through it.
Well, yes.
If you got, 12 months, but you're going to get decreased,
And I think for anybody that's got young and young children, that must be a horrible thing to have to think. They're never going to see you grow up. If you're old, well, you think, well, you've had a fair innings. But no, it's not. It's a good way to go for the person, but it's a bit of a shock for the people, isn't it, as we know. I mean, Grandad gone in with just a bad chest. That's all we thought it was, and that was totally unexpected, wasn't it? But in a way, it was best for him, because he hated being like he was and relying on everybody to do things. And
yeah, he had a crusade against his wheelchair, didn't he?
Yeah, he didn't like to think that he wasn't doing it himself.
I would be so annoyed if I get this footage back home, and I go through it and I can't use the audio because of the TV now.
Why didn't you say something sooner?
Because I only realised an hour in. But now the thing is, if I turn it off now, it means that this end bit will sound different to the rest. So what I'm hoping is that this microphone here has picked up me and you well, because it's very close to us.
When will you find out?
Or when I can press playback when we stop.
When you come back next time, have we got to do it again?
Maybe, yeah. Well, this one will record us okay. This camera's got a microphone in it as well.
Do you want another drink?
I'll get one in a bit.
Oh, didn't like my mixing, eh?
No, yeah, but we'll finish off, I guess.
Right, so all this history stuff, do you want me to give it to you?
I'll have a read through it. I think I've still got some of it. You give me another folder.
I don't know. Did I give you the one about the guy with his arm?
You gave me the stuff about Ural, I think. The guy who...
Ural?
Yeah, the Lincoln guy.
Oh, the one that's in Arlington Cemetery that got honoured with in the Civil War, American Civil War. That was him.
It's on here, isn't he?
No, I don't think
so.
so.
Is that a different one?
Oh, Emmett. Yeah. Ah, yeah, you're right.
This is an ancestor of ours.
This isn't the whole of it, you see, is it?
Yeah, but that's some information about him.
The 6th of June 1870.
It's the M major.
A citation for gallantry in action.
Ooh.
While detained as a colour bearer and was severely wounded. Poor bugger.
Should we close off our video?
Yes.
So,
cheers.
Yes. Thank you for watching if you made it this far. I don't know how much of this I'll kept.
No,
I'll be trimming it down. If you'd like to see more of My Gran, let us know in the comments, because people can comment. We can explain some card games. We can chat some more about other stuff.
Yes. We can.
Talk about pantomimes.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Now, that's a good thing, isn't it?
We could go through all the pantomimes we
We've
did.
got lots and lots of those
Yes.
to laugh on.
I can always get my Gran back in.
Yes, we'll do that next time.
I think because I'm going to start making more videos in general. I think whenever I visit, I might just bring cameras and stuff. So because this setup, like that's obviously Mum's tripod.
I thought I recognised it.
Yeah, I carried the one I brought's tiny.
Oh, right.
I didn't want to bring a big one because it's
Well,
massive.
no, of course not.
So the camera's mine, tripod's
But the
hers,
tripod's your
and then
mum's.
this is a lav mic attached to my old phone. So this is recording the
Oh,
audio.
very technical. Too technical for Grandma.
Like obviously, if I got better equipment, and what I could have is like a boom mic stand over us, and then we'd have proper audio.
Oh, I've got my makeup on next time I come.
Have a proper set and everything.
Yeah.
And if the audio's a bit weird, it's because the TV's on the entire time. And for some reason, we were so engrossed in our game that we didn't even notice.
That's what it was.
Yes.
It's not to do with the drink.
Speaking
is
of the
it?
game, I am the
Is it?
victor.
Nothing to do with
Nothing
the
to do with the
drink.
drink. All right.
It's only, what is this, orange juice?
Yes, definitely looks like orange juice.
Tastes better than orange juice, doesn't it? You can have another if you want.
I think I will have another.
Help
Yes.
yourself.
Goodbye, camera.
I think I've had that a long time. Bye.
Bye-bye.
No, not 2018 though.
No.